All right. Well, there's still a few people sitting down. Is there anyone in line outside anymore, or is that it? All right. Well, that's a good crowd. All right. We get started here. Nope. There's still people coming in. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Joe, and I created MAGFest, and welcome to the show. Everybody having a good weekend so far? Yeah. Right on, yeah. I usually only I take the Amtrak up because very few people come from Roanoke anymore, and they come up on Thursday, and you get to be a certain age, and the show's exhausting. Yeah, one night's, it's been really crowded, and you're having a blast, and yeah, one night's plenty. Anyway, can I get some more, is there any more slack on this microphone? Thanks, Shawn. This is Shawn, by the way, one of the Lumberjacks.
I was tied up himself, too.
And there's what, about 7 of you left?
Yeah,
Seven
of us, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. That's much better. So I'm going to introduce these guys, and then I'm going to talk a little bit for about maybe 20 minutes and tell you as quickly as I can the story of how MAGFest started, and then these guys are going to talk for a few minutes, and then we're going to turn it over to Q&A. So I hope you guys have a lot of questions, and if anybody wants, y'all know Walter Day, Twin Galaxies, all that. Walter put me in his little Hall of Fame a few years ago, and I got a few of these left, so if anybody wants one afterwards, I don't know if I'm going to run out this year or not. I asked Walter back in August, can I get more, and anybody met Walter? Yeah. Maybe I'll get some more, we'll see. No, he's a good guy. Did anybody see the new Walter documentary about his musical album? Did anybody actually watch it? No, I haven't. I'm curious. Anyway, all right. So first, to my left is Luke is helping us. I should tell you all about Tom. Normally, we have fourth panelist, Tom Diehm, who was the first guy ever to. I'll tell his story real quick, and I'll tell you why he's not here. We got in Thursday night to unload the arcade cabinets at MAGFest 1, and there was an attendee already sitting in the hotel lobby waiting for us, and that was Tom. And he helped us out, and we've been friends ever since. And he runs Panel Ops now, and he'd been in some pain. And yesterday they wheeled him off. I don't know, he's having his gallbladder removed. So he will not be joining us, but I'm sure he'll be back next year. So filling in for Tom, we have Luke right here. Luke, what was your first year at MAG?
The Legend of Zelda.
I don't.
2014.
Oh, so about 11, 12 years now. Cool, yeah. And to my right is Chris Guinnup, who is one of the Lumberjacks. He was at MAGFest 1, and he has perfect attendance.
Mostly.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It counts. Yeah, you're good. And next to him, we have Matt Reese, who, I have a question for you, actually. Matt is also one of the Lumberjacks. Matt was at year 1, and Matt, I don't know if the picture's in here. I hope it is. Matt was with us at E3 2002, promoting MAG with us before it existed. So.
It wasn't before it existed, but it was hey, Brendan, can I have a title so I can apply to go to E3?
No, that picture of me and you and Purnell at E3 2002.
I think it was 3, but...
2003? No, because I wasn't at 03. I was at...
4, it was definitely...
It might have been 2004. Yeah. All right, well, let me, in essence of time, let me jump right in. And this year I took notes, or I typed up some notes. MAGFest started in Roanoke, Virginia. Anybody here from Roanoke? Anybody here? One. Right on, yeah. Anybody heard of Star City Games down in Roanoke, Magic Players? Yeah, there's a couple of you, yeah. Because before MAGFest, we used to do video game tournaments and anime weekend screenings at Star City Games. That reminds me, before I get too far into this, who here, I ask this every year, you don't have to raise your hand, but I'm curious, who here was born after September 2002? So, okay, yeah, a couple of you. Well, welcome aboard. At any rate, so me and some friends, we would do these anime weekends and video game tournaments at Star City. And then in 1998, I met Shawn Ryder. This is just a few months after my father passed away. And Shawn and I got to be good friends, and we started an anime club called Club Roanime at, for the one person from Roanoke, the Old Terrace Theater at Crossroads Mall that they're tearing it down or they're redeveloping it into something. It hasn't been a movie theater there in 20 years. They had a cinema grill there where it was second-run movies. You'd order a burger and fries or chicken fingers, and they played second-run movies. And they let us screen 3 hours of anime there once a week. And we were getting 30, 40 people a week because it was free, and they loved us because everybody there would order dinner. And so how many of you, by the way, how many of you have been to this panel before? So some of you already know the story. For those of you that, for those of you that don't know this, MAGFest actually started life as an anime convention called Omake-con. Omake is the Japanese word for, does anybody know? Yeah. Yeah, gift, present, bonus. Shawn and I were running the anime club, and so we had a built-in crew. We would go to anime conventions up and down the coast, and we'd take a group with us, and our first one was Otakon 1998, with a record attendance of, you're gonna laugh, does anybody wanna guess what record attendance was for a convention in 1998? 200. MAGFest 1 was 200. Somebody said what? 250. MAG 1 was 265, they say. I don't know, I was not getting any sleep and not paying attention. Otakon, and this was Otakon 7 or 8, Otakon had 4,000 attendance, and that was a record. It was in the Baltimore Convention Center. They didn't even take up the whole BCC. So then we went to, it was like NecoCon 99, and we brought, we got to know the people running the show, and a lot of these guys came out of KatsuCon and the Virginia Anime Society in DC, and VTAS, the Virginia Tech Anime Society. And we started going and staffing their, hey, bring your crew and run the game room, bring your crew and run a couple of the video rooms. So we learned how to work conventions, and this is, of course, the late 90s. And around that time, Pete at Star City also asked us to start running video game tournaments for him. And so we're doing the anime club every week. We're doing these events, and at KatsuCon 2001, that was the year Yoshitaka Amano was there. We'll skip the part where I was, drunk in the stairwell. But I said to Shawn, hey, you know what, let's do our own convention. And Shawn says to me, well, tell me that again in the morning when you're sober. And oh yeah, that's perfect. Oh, wait for the next one. So the next morning we're packing up, I had an old red Pontiac, and we're packing it up, and I said, what I said last night, Shawn, let's do it. So we got back to Roanoke, and he said, okay, let's do it. And we got back to Roanoke, and there was a local science fiction show there called ShivaCon, and I knew a guy who ran it because I went to school with his kids, one of the guys who ran the show. His name was Blair Grimm, and he said you need 3 things. You need a contract with a hotel, you need a business license, and you need a headliner guest. And the first 2 were very easy. It's not difficult to contract a hotel. There's not a lot to choose from in Roanoke anyway. And we already had a built-in staff. Everybody who in the anime club who had been staffing with us at the shows, everybody put in $30, and that was our seed money. We had, I don't know, $300 or $400 to do MAGFest. And we came up with the name Omake-con, because at the time, there were no video game conventions back then. There was JAGFest, but that's when we changed it, I'll get to that. There was Jaguar Fest, Atari JAGFest, and that's now the Midwest Classic, I believe. There was, what's his name, Hardy, who has the museum in Texas. He used to do his show in Vegas.
Was Philly Classic going on then?
Yes, it was. Yeah, actually, yeah, and that's the 3rd one. And then, of course, there was the E3 Expo. And So we decided to do an anime convention with a bigger focus on the video game room. And that was something that Pernell and I had. Pernell's not here. He might be diving in a minute. Because we always felt the anime cons didn't give enough attention to video games. But again, there was no precedent for video game convention back then. And we sent invitations to 6 different people to be our guests. And it was David Crane, who made Pitfall, Alexander Pajitnov, who made Tetris, Victor Ireland, who ran Working Designs, the mini bosses, they're the ones who actually did show up. It used to be I could remember 5 of 6. Now I can only remember 4 of 6. But if you go watch this panel on YouTube from previous years, I do remember the 5th one. Michael Bell. It was Michael Bell who, anybody know Michael Bell? He's mostly famous for doing a lot of voices of like 80s cartoons, Transformers, G.I. Joe, stuff like that. But he also has done a lot of voices like Raziel in the Soul Reaver series, Guts in sort of the Berserk for Dream. He's done tons. We actually met Michael Bell at a convention before that, and he wanted a $5,000 appearance fee. Our entire budget for the show was under $10,000 for year one. This show generates $3 million now. MAGFest 1 was on a shoestring of $10,000. Anyway, so 2 things happened that, are we? Yeah. In fact, you can see up here on the wall one of our original flyers. If you can't see my finger, if you look down at the URL for the color flyer, it says OmakeCon. And if you go on the way back machine on the internet, you'll still see that. OmakeCon.org or .com is there, like preserved on the way back machine, Internet Archive. And the other one on the left, that's a little bit further down the road. We had already made the change. So 2 things happened in the summer of, that was 2001, February. We came up with the idea at KatsuCon. And the show was originally scheduled for April of 2002. And 2 things happened. One, we started thinking about it more and more. I think it was maybe me and Pernell and Shawn because we kept planning all these video game events, and for anime it was, we're going to have a video room. And I don't know where, but at some point I had the idea, why don't we just make it a video game convention? I mean, that's not been done. Why not? The problem was that our entire staff, these were anime guys. These were guys that came to our anime club. And there was a huge, here comes the good pictures. There was a huge amount of blowback from the guys in the anime club. And there was, I'm not going to get into all that drama, but MAGFest almost didn't happen. And the other thing was, right about that, it's a little bit later on, we parted ways with most of the staff. It was me, Pernell, Shawn, I think, maybe Rez. Anybody remember? I know you guys remember Rick Scott. Anybody remember Rez used to wander around with an army helmet, trooper? Yeah. And a buddy of mine, local friend of mine, Aaron. Everybody else walked, so we didn't have a staff. And we went to Otakon later that year and left some flyers out, and people were tracking me down in the dealer's room at Otakon saying, hey, are you the guy that put these flyers out? Yeah. One of them was Chris Kohler, who writes for OneUp. And so we decided, because we still had the hotel contract, we still had the business license, and the hotel let us change from April 2002 to September 2002. And we came up with a new name. We rebranded as MAGFest, back then the Mid-Atlantic Game Festival. And then the thing that came along that finally changed everything was the mini bosses wrote back to us. One of the guests we messaged wrote back to us. And they said, hey, if you fly us in, were they in Arizona, I think?
Yeah, it was Arizona or Nevada. I think it was Arizona.
Yeah. They said, if you fly us in, we'll do your show. I said, well, we can do that. And they put us up on their, you understand, MAGFest was the Mid-Atlantic Game Festival. The concert was that was just supposed to be an event the same as the cosplay event or, a guest panel. That wasn't, but since we didn't have anything else, that suddenly became the centerpiece. And when we got put up on their website, suddenly all these other musical guests start chiming in. Hey, I want to come too. Hey, can I play your show too? So MAGFest became a musical event completely by accident. That was, I had originally envisioned in the back of my head, my pipe dream idea was for MAGFest to be something like an E3 expo that was open to the public, which is kind of what Penny Arcade has become. But suddenly we started getting pre-registrations. People were, sending in pre-regs online. We went to, go back one, because I want to show the picture with, so that's the picture. Matt, you can't see it, but the picture's up there right now of me and you and Purnell.
Yeah, I figured that's what the one on the right was.
Yeah, that's the three of them. Purnell's got the gang sign. We still don't know what that is. He doesn't remember either. Those, by the way, those two girls, that's actually a funny story. When we were promoting, we went around to every booth. Hey, we're doing a video game show. Would you, back us up? And like Larry Flint Publications, who did tips and, y'all know Larry Flint, right? Yeah, they published tips and tricks, if anybody remembers that. They sent us some free stuff. Pelican and Mad Cats sent us some controllers, but nobody wanted to have anything to do with us. Those two girls were right outside Mr. T's booth, the Lawrence Turiad himself. And Purnell, I think actually, because by the way, I'm wearing the MAGFest 1 shirt. And I have two of these left. One of them's we had a child size that nobody wanted, so it's just been sitting folded up for 20 some years now. This is my personal one that I wear, but we handed one of the shirts to those girls, like, hey, do you think Mr. T would take a picture holding up the shirt? And we could hear him like, man, I ain't doing that. So then the girls, they came back, they're like, well, we'll take the picture for you. Thanks, ladies. The other picture is me and Purnell and Matt over here. I don't know, I wonder who took that picture. That's
We were just in the hallway, to take that picture.
But somebody took that picture for us, though, is the thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because the Mr. T was right next to, because that was the year the Rocky game came out for GameCube and Xbox and everything, and he was at E3 promoting the Rocky game. At any rate, yeah. So we promoted at E3 Expo, and like I said, it was a lot of the little guys working designs. We actually got to meet Victor Ireland, and he's like, well, we can't make it to your show, but we'll send you some stuff. They sent us like some Arc the Lad posters and things. Atlas sent us a big box of, so what was it? It was some game, I think it was called Dual Hearts, a big box of demo discs. Mad Cats and Pelicans sent us controllers. But at that point, yeah, we had switched gears to make it a full-on video game event. We had the mini bosses coming, and later on, go to the next. I wonder if Shawn had the idea to invite the mini bosses. They agreed to put us on their website. Suddenly, lots of musicians. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's me. I had a shop called Captain Game Station. Anybody been down to Radford, Virginia? Super Game Station. One person. That's my brother. Little guy John. Yeah, that's my brother. That's when I had my shop. That's my Nintendo Versus cabinet converted into a Neo Geo MVS behind me. And there used to be, people don't know this, but MAGFest 1, we had a theme, and that was TurboGrafx. It was, like I say, a lot of the inspiration I took from JagFest. They called it JagFest, we called it MAGFest. They were Atari Jaguar themed. I wanted us to be TurboGrafx themed. In fact, we had the American premiere of the Ys anime, which was a popular franchise in the 90s. The first 4 episodes, Anime Works sent us that.
They still make Ys games.
Oh, yeah.
For those not familiar, why?
Yeah, what is it? The director's cut of East Nordics is coming out in a few months or something. I wasn't too impressed with it. It was okay. 8 was really good. 8 was really good, and anyway. But that me holding there is the very first TurboGrafx 16 to ever roll off the assembly line in America in 1989. The guy who ran Turbo after they went out of business, he had a mail order company, he sent that to us to put on display, but it pretty much stayed locked up the whole weekend. But there's a picture of me holding it. Go to the next one. And that's, okay. Go back through the slides again. I want to see if, go back through. That's it. Go back to the very last one then. There was a picture, no. Oh yeah, there's the anime club that we had in Roanoke and the tournaments we used to do at Star City Games. Those are our flyers, but go a little bit more. Slow, go to the next one. Yeah, next one. Next one. This, yeah, stop. Can you enlarge this? These are actually pictures of MAGFest 1. I don't know if we can enlarge it. MAGFest 1 happened September 27th to 29th, 2002 at the Holiday in Tanglewood. Tom brought a Neo Geo AES with him. And I brought my Turbo Duo. And the local rent-a-center gave us TVs. The night manager at the hotel was also the regional Xbox representative. And Xbox had been out less than a year, and he brought us a ton of remember he rolled in with the gurney of all that Xbox swag that night? Were you guys there that night when the night shift manager just rolled in with swag from his garage? Yeah. The local back then, it was still called Electronics Boutique. And a friend of mine was the manager at the time. They couldn't officially help us out, but he gave us all the free giveaway leftover stuff behind the counter to give away. So people came out of the woodwork to help us. I guess we can't. That's the other thing. Can you pull up that web link I sent you? Yeah, I want to show you guys this. And I'm just about done here. So, you can find this. I don't know if you can see the URL there. It's gaminghistory.org, and you do a search for MAGFest turns 23. They contacted me. They wanted a bunch of. I still have stuff at home that no one's ever seen, like the original mock-up of the program book. Everybody, you can get the Mag1 program book PDF, Google search it. I have a mock-up we uploaded for the first time. Scroll down a bit. And there should be some pictures of Mag1 in here. There's that picture of me again when I had the goofy ponytail. And there's the Mag1 badge that I'm wearing, Mag1 badge 1. And scroll down a bit. That's it. I gave them a bunch of pictures. Oh, well. Oh yeah, that one is autographed by me, Pernell, Raph, and Shawn, and it's hanging in the Mag warehouse in Baltimore. Because I had a few program books left over. I still have like 2 or 3 at home. But at any rate, MAGFest 1. Oh, and MAGFest 1, we also had mascots. I don't know if y'all can see this. It's the good girl and the rival girl and their little robot buddy who is heavily stolen from Chrono Trigger. And he's always trying to keep the peace between them. Like with the Spinal Tap where Harry Shearer's the glue. The robot's the glue. I got 7 hours of sleep. I got sick as a dog after the show. We had 265 people. We lost money on the show. We had a guy bankrolling us who wanted his money back. And I got accepted to do my grad work at USC in Los Angeles, and I got to spend 2 years working with I got to work with Irvin Kershner for 6 weeks. That was awesome. In 2005, right before he died. Y'all know who Irvin Kershner was? Anybody? The director of Empire Strikes Back, one of George Lucas's teachers. I got to take a class with him for 6 weeks, about 3 years before he died. But anyway, I got accepted to grad work. Our guy wanted his money back. We posted Game Over on the website, and then Brendan approached us, and we sold the show to Brendan, and the rest is, and he moved the show to Williamsburg year 2, and the rest is history. That's where my part of the story really ends. So if you guys have questions, hold them for just a few minutes, because I want to let these guys tell a couple of fun stories, and then we'll do some questions.
So, hey, I'm Chris Guinnup. I just want to talk about, I suppose, my perspective. So you just heard the anime perspective of how it started, and what pulled me into MAGFest was hearing the accidental musical aspect that was going to be there. Like back in high school, my friends had showed me the mini bosses. They're like, "Yo, there's this rock band on the internet that like has covers of Contra and Castlevania," like just regular high school friends and not super nerdy, although okay, I did go to kind of a math and science school, so maybe a little nerdy, but and it was also back in the day of the early internet when, you know, bulletin boards and forums were like the big thing on the interwebs for interacting with each other. And I'd come across this project called Project Majestic Mix. It was Stephen Kennedy, the first American album tribute to a video game composer. And so I was up in those forums, and then the One-Up Studios, and I heard that the One-Ups were also coming to play, as they were called at the time, the One-Up Mushrooms. Yes. Before Nintendo said, that's a little too close to our property. Yeah. But One-Up, that's vague in general. I heard about it through those, you know, Project Majestic Mix, because he was going to be there, and One-Up's Mushrooms, they were performing, and yeah, it's really interesting to me to hear that musical aspect was pretty much an accident, and because it's very niche, right? Like, especially around the first MAGFest, this was the first kind of like grouping of video game music performers, and I was so excited to go there. And I had been a little bit involved in Project Majestic Mix, the tribute to Nobuyo Uematsu as well. I was just excited about it, you know, full up in the hype, like the first album tributing a video game composer in the US, yeah. I was so excited that I coordinated a little forum effort to email like PC gaming mags and whatnot. It was a little too successful. Apparently Stephen Kennedy, the head of the project, got an email from one of the game publishers like, if I get one more email about this project, I'm blocking all of you guys. And I'm like, okay. Maybe don't just copy this example form letter. Maybe do something personal. And yeah, so MAGFest, when I came here, it was really exciting to meet Stephen Kennedy. You know, it was exciting to meet Mustin and the One-Up Mushrooms. And honestly, yeah, the video game performances were exactly what did it for me. And I love, I guess, from early MAG, one of the best stories, it's not really long, which is why I proceeded with all this, is just having the concert that rocked so hard that ceiling tiles fell out. So,
Wait, that was MAG 1?
It wasn't MAG 1. It was one of the early MAGs, maybe 3? Or, it was 4? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they threw them out after that, didn't they?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, rocking so hard. But yeah, no, I mean, rocking hard, so hard if ceiling tile fell out. Yep, and what? A chandelier too.
When Wave Theory were playing in, I believe it was 2, maybe it was 3. They had one of the lights, like those inlet ones there, also came out. But the chandelier, obviously, a bigger deal.
Slightly, yeah, and. Yeah, I'll also just say it was, this was a little later, but it was also amazing when Joe Cam and folks started, and Rez actually started cooking bacon during the concerts and then just handing it out to people on the stage between songs, or and handing it out to the audience too, getting people to go, putting bacon into their mouths. It's great times.
Just to show you guys, let me tell a story real quick. A couple of years ago, 2 years ago, we found this old camcorder cassette, and y'all need help?
I got it.
Right on. A couple of years ago, I found an old camcorder cassette, and we had no idea what it was. And I had a buddy of mine rip it onto a CD and put it on YouTube. It was the original, and I've still got it, the original camcorder cassette from MAGFest 1, the concert. I don't know if you knew we found this 2 years ago. The original concert from MAGFest 1. And I uploaded it on YouTube. Since we were literally using old, this is before digital. There's, a tape in a cassette. we ran out about halfway through the concert. But what we do have is up on YouTube, and I just wanted to share that in case anybody wants to search for it or grab the link or whatever. Before I forget, there it is. Matt, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. So I'll start with just how I heard about MAGFest as well. So I kind of came from a similar anime perspective. My college had an anime club, and for a couple years we had 2 fanzines. One, University of Maryland over at College Park. So when we were selling our fanzine in the artist alley, I met Shawn that you mentioned earlier, and that's how I heard about MAGFest.
Shawn Ryder.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he was doing the flyer thing just like you
This
were.
is at Otakon.
An Otakon, yep.
Wow.
And I mean, I'm more into video games than anime, so I'm like, awesome, yes, I'll do that. And I reached out to a couple of the guests, so the mini bosses, Vert, Stephen Kennedy, Dale, and Mustin, to interview them for the magazines. That was kind of what got, I mean, I would have gone anyway, but that was what got me there. And then just, I've been coming back ever since. So that was kind of, as far as stories though, I'll tell one story. I can't really tell too many of the Mag1 stories that would be fun to tell, but first year that we were at the Gaylord, so I did registration for a couple years and various staffing at MAGFest. And I believe it was the first year at the Gaylord. They had, basically they had program books, but they still had to pick them up from the local Staples. So I volunteered to drive, around the corner to go pick them up, paid for them on my credit card, and then was reimbursed in cash. So I had about $1,000 in my pocket, burning a hole for the weekend. So I went by the charity auction on Sunday. One of the first things I bid on was a blind bag, so like a brown bag, don't know what's inside of it, $100. It turned out to be a copy of Shaq Fu for each of the 4 systems. And I was supposed to get a Shaq Fu tournament t-shirt that never actually materialized. I did get better things in the auction, including like an Uematsu autograph kind of thing. But the next time I'm in a white elephant, that's still sitting in my closet ready to go.
What year was that?
I believe it was 10 because there was an Uematsu.
The first year here.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
So, want to do questions?
Yeah. Anybody got any questions?
I mean, we can tell stories.
Yeah, we can keep telling stories. Yeah, we got one right here.
Yeah, my first one was 8.
Okay.
So that was Mark Center.
It was still, not the one that sold out, but the one before that.
I was there.
And the way I found out about it is because I met Brendan Becker in first phase at some other gaming event, and he was like, hey, you got to check out this.
Was he wearing the Wiimote? He did that a couple times.
But I was wondering, like, why Brendan and the demo scene stuff isn't here anymore.
No idea. We have no idea. Anybody? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
This is my second year at MAGFest. Last year was the first for me. And I was wondering, did your group ever start any of the little community traditions around MAGFest that are common today, like giving out small trinkets to each other, the Colossus Scream, etc.?
No, I'm trying to think of something that started at Mag. Well, the rampant alcohol abuse started at Mag1. That's
And room parties.
yeah. My friend, I have a friend back in Roanoke who is the self-proclaimed first MAGFest drunk. But like the Colossus Roar, or like what other ones are you thinking of?
Well, I'm still relatively new to the convention.
Oh.
Those are just the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
All right. So first off, let's try to repeat questions too, so everybody.
Oh,
can hear.
good idea. Good
But,
idea.
I was for a while there was the treasure chest. I think our friend Hex built those, and those were kind of back in the Hilton days. It was sort of like swag and seek. People could open it, find something inside of there. It may not be something you want to find, but it was something to find, and you would take something and leave something. So I know that was something that was done for a while.
A little free library with random junk in it.
Yeah.
We started at Mag1, or The 24-hour game room that started with Mag 1. Yeah, that was my idea. What else? We had one person in. We had one. Who's the goth chick from Final Fantasy X? I never.
Lulu.
Yeah. We had one girl dressed up at Mag 1, and
right.
that was the costume.
Hey, I was one of the other people that cosplayed. I was one of
At Mag
two,
1?
possibly a third person that was wearing bear pajamas that could have been Serial Experiments Lane, but that was all I saw.
Was that
the
Mag
entire
1?
time. Was her and me and that other person. I was a New Age retro hippie from Earthbound, by the way.
Okay. That's what,
Somebody way in the back had a question. I don't know if he's. Yeah. You're gonna have to speak loud. Yes, he did. And
which one was that?
this is a
It was
MAGFest 10
10,
story because I'll never forget it. I'm going to take this one, and then
Sure.
you guys can. So MAGFest, I didn't know because I'm like I just ran into Dom, and Dom's like, I'm just a civilian now, Joe, and I'm like, oh, me too. I didn't know they were
Sackett.
moving to this hotel. I'd never seen it before. I had no idea what a huge jump the Mark Center to this hotel would be. And a buddy of mine in Roanoke, we drove up at like 2 in the morning and got here at like 5 or 6 a.m. I think it was Friday morning, Saturday morning. And I was just in shock. But we went to the and I'm meeting Paul and Dom for the first time, and Paul's like, you want to watch the concert from backstage? And I'm like, yes, I do. So I got to sit with the sound guy around the side and watch the whole Uematsu concert. This is MAGFest 10. And afterwards, I'm like, Paul's like, you want to meet him? And Uematsu was not doing pictures because he didn't have a lot of time. And, he's an older guy, And Paul just walks me right up past everybody. And the translator was Nakama Shota, who is VGO, and he's done scoring for Square Enix. He lives in Boston. And Shota-san introduced me to Uematsu and told him who I was. And Uematsu instantly just volunteered to jump up to take a picture with me. And of course, I'm like, 13 years younger in that picture. But I've still got that picture. That was when he played, he did FF6 Dancing Mad. And he said that was the first time he had done that song since the 90s. And it was best part was, and the whole band.
Earthbound Papas was the band.
The Earthbound Papas, yeah. And they introduced themselves, and they had a translator. And the one guy was I think Uematsu speaking in Japanese with a translator. And then one guy knew some English, said, "You guys are rock." And then I think it was the drummer who he's bilingual very fluently. We're not expecting this. The drummer's like, "Hey, everybody, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me." But yeah. No, Uematsu, that was probably one of my 3 favorite guests the show's ever had. You had a follow-up back there? Yeah, it's on YouTube. Search for it. Yeah. Up here?
Pre-Game Lord, since I'm assuming you figured out the logistics for this place down back, early MAGFest, what was the hardest logistics to figure out? Like in the beginning, like transportation, that kind of location, that
I mean,
So,
I have
so
a
the
couple
question,
ideas, but yeah.
the question is, what's the hardest logistics to figure out?
Yeah, what was the hardest thing to fit? Well, with Mag 1? Finding people to help us unload the arcade cabinets, that was a bit of a pain. I don't know.
I can speak to some of the ones right after that.
Sure, 'cause
not like management staff capacity, but I know that. So the first couple years after when Brendan took it over, it moved with him. He lived in Williamsburg, so it was in Williamsburg for 2 years. Then it was in Charlottesville because he lived there, and that's when after that is when it came to Tyson's and then the Mark Center, and now here. The Williamsburg Hotel, the power circuits. The concerts plus LAN, they could not handle the electricity. So also the elevator would eat people. That they put up teeth and a sign like on the doors. It was only a 2-level Clarion. I mean, we've heard about the chandelier at number 4, but I feel like the moving probably was part of why it kind of was a very slow growth for attendance at first. And once it found its home at the Mark Center, that's when it started to really pick up.
Yeah, I can't think of anything particularly logistically that was a nightmare at the first show because, we had about 260, 270 people show up. That was including the staff. And by the way, interesting fun fact, all of the ballroom, all of the square footage we had at Mag 1 is probably about the same square footage as this room. Yeah. If you go to that archive website they put up for us, gaming history, and you'll see the square footage and the layout of the Holiday in Tanglewood in Roanoke. You'll see the square footage.
Yeah.
You know, we.
So, remind me, Joe, it was like the game room. I think you had one video room, and then there was just stuff in the hallway that surrounded it.
So
basically?
everything was down this one hallway, and on the left you had a room that could be split up into 5 smaller rooms with air walls. We had that split into 2 rooms, one for the concert and events and one for the game room. And then on the right there was an alcove where we had tabletop. And then down at the end it would T-fork, and on the left were our dealers, and on the right was the video room and ops for everything. Ops was the smallest room. And then there was a room we had for con suite upstairs. And my mother was the first con suite and fed like 200 people, bless her heart. But yeah, we had a very small amount of space. And this might be on YouTube as well if Tom uploaded. Tom came to Roanoke during the pandemic, and we walked around the Holiday in Tanglewood, and we did a walk around, and I talked about it a bit. If you search, that might be on YouTube. I know he's got the videos. But yeah, it was a pretty small venue. No. Right here?
So one of the things I always think about with MAGFest, the fact is the 24-hour convention, there's always stuff happening. And so I was wondering if that was a part of the original MAGFest, and if that was also a part of those same conventions in the 90s.
Yeah. Is the 24-hour game room and the 24 hours of events, did that have precedent in other shows? And what was the other part of your question? Okay, yeah. A lot of those, so Otakon would shut down at night because they were in the convention center, but at NekoCon and KatsuCon, they would have the video rooms running around the clock. Anime Mid-Atlantic, they would, things would be open all night.
Not necessarily everything, but
No,
like
yeah.
video rooms would be going
Yeah,
overnight.
yeah.
The game room might not. A lot of that for hotels and convention centers, it comes down to unions as well.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, Ian, who is not up here, but was at the Lumberjacks panel last night, told one of his Mag 1 stories about playing Saturn Bomberman, just sitting down with someone at like 3 in the morning, more people just coming up, and there's a photo of like 8 people playing Saturn Bomberman.
What
in,
year
like,
is
the
that?
Middle of the night. Mag 1.
Was it?
Yep.
Wow. I love that photo.
I mean, 2 in the morning, I was walking by that hall. I remember there was a pizza box that was out, and it had a label something like, "Not poisoned, we swear." So some of the mag spirit that has continued on to this day. But
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I know the indie showcase, like a big section before now. Was it originally like there were developers that were requested to come here, or they asked to come, or there was any detail on that, or did they just like start showing?
So your question is, how did indie game showcase get started? That was all Paul's. That to me is one of the coolest things that anybody has come up with for MAGFest in 23 years. That's like my favorite part of the show, is going and seeing all the indie devs. And originally, since I wanted MAG to kind of become an open for all E3 kind of a thing, the indie showcase is probably the closest thing here at the show to my original vision for the show. But yeah, that was all Paul Good. He came up with that about 7 or 8 years ago, maybe. In fact, that's after this. If I'm around the show, you'll either find me in the museum up here or down at Indy. That's where you'll see me in one of those 2 places, just checking stuff out. Did that answer your question? Yeah.
I don't know.
Right on, right on.
I know when it started, but not like how it started. So
Paul just had the idea for that one year, and I think it's a great idea. So what?
I spent like half my time in it.
Yeah, good stuff.
What was your favorite MAGFest thus far? Why?
Mag 1, that's easy. It was my show.
oh gosh, this there's so many good MAGFests to choose from. I mean, obviously the one where Umatsu came and performed is up there. But probably, like, I'm big into the music here. It's so incredible and such a great niche. I'd have to say, just a few years ago, when 8-Bit Big Band came to play, and and learning, hey, this band won a Grammy. Like, wait, what? Sorry, video game music arrangements won a Grammy? What? Isn't this a nerdy interest, not like popular interest? What? But it's expanding and it's growing. It's wonderful. I love it. And yeah. Oh, also during Umatsu's performance, one of my favorite parts of that is that he incited a MAGFest roar,
Oh,
a
he did
Colossus
that.
roar from the crowd.
Yeah. Uematsu did the Colossus roar. That's right.
Yeah, he'd heard that and was like, "Let's do it." What? Sorry? The Dragon Ball roar. No, okay, so yeah, I suppose I should tell the story of the Colossus roar then. It was from this old X-Men arcade cabinet that we had. It was located right by a hallway that people would be passing by frequently, and basically Colossus's superpower was the loudest in the cabinet. That and the big
It's also
explosion
the best one in the
around
game.
him. Yeah, it clears out like everything around Colossus, and so of course Colossus spams the shit out of that when they're playing, and yeah, so people. I have no idea how much that would cost. It's a relic of the cabinet, and yeah, so people just started. They heard it so much, they started repeating it, and it grew into a phenomena.
Yeah, and that cabinet was donated by Charles Margolis, who passed away from cancer a number of years ago.
yeah.
I think they may still have a sign on the side of it. I haven't seen it this year down in the arcade. It's in the museum. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You got a question? Yeah, go on.
Yep.
Oh, you didn't say your favorite. That's all right.
And the reason it was the loudest thing is because those machines, the audio board breaks on them. It breaks loud or quiet.
Okay.
Come for the history and the tech goss. I guess my favorite.
It's cool to know.
I've been to all of the Super MAGFest, so I'm going to go with M2. The reason for that was just because a lot of the friends that I've made, there was people I met at MAG1 that I still see, such as Joe back there. But MAG2 was really where I feel like I kind of met like more people, like the folks in X Strike, who now Tim and I have been doing Name That Tune at MAGFest since like the third one now out of that, and just a lot of kind of different groups like that were kind of coming in there that, this is kind of like the one time a year I see them. Sometimes in the past, I've traveled up or vice versa to visit, but like, it's like coming home and, getting to see the people, catch up with them. Because, you don't always see all that stuff on social media and everything. So I think M2 for me.
We got 4 lumberjacks in the house right now. Is it 4 of you, or am I missing anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody give Joe a hand. That is you, isn't it, Joe? I'm losing my vision. Good to see you, man. I do want to tell two funny stories real quick. Mag 1, has everybody heard the mini boss's porn and chicken story? Wait, you don't know this one?
I was not going to tell that story, but if you want to, you may do that.
That one's... Who's the guy, Maxim, who interviewed everybody and did mag documentaries around like year 15? He's got me on YouTube telling that story anyways.
Well, I was the one interviewing them during that story.
Really?
Remember I said I went there to interview people, and everybody was so busy wanting to have fun at MAGFest that, like, I want to say that the remix arrangement community ones weren't till like the Sunday, and I caught up with the mini bosses at like 2 in the morning when it was after the show, and they were eating fried chicken and watching porn in their room.
So no, Sunday morning, because we're paying for the hotels, and Sunday morning we get all the bills from the hotel, and there's other charges on there. I'm like, well, what is this? Oh, we got some videos last night, Joe. I'm like, oh, well, we're not paying for that part. Yeah, we got that. Don't worry. But we cover their hotel room. The other, I want to tell. I'll get you in a sec. I want to tell one. I promise. I because I tell this story every year. This was And you were there for this, Luke. 2 years ago when we were at the concerts, what's the Cybertron spree? And I'm exhausted. And Kevin was there too. And we're waiting for Cybertron spree to go on. And I am fucking exhausted because, I get up at like 6. I ride the Amtrak up here. I do the panel. I'm running around. And I just plop down and the floor is empty. It's over, the big concert hall that went in. And this young fella comes up to me, "Excuse me, sir, I need you to get up, and if you're going to sit down, go sit down against the wall." And I should have, because he's doing his job, I should have, but I'm exhausted, and I just look at him like, and I swear to God, I never do this, but I did it this time. "Buddy, do you know who I am?" And he just looks at me. I said, "Buddy, I created MAGFest. I started all of this." And his response was priceless. He goes, "That's really cool. You know what? Because you know why? I started MAGFest too." And I really want this, because I don't think he believed to this, maybe he's out there somewhere and like, "Hey, didn't you I don't know if this story will ever get, if he even knows if he's even here." It was dark. But instantly Luke and Kevin just like, and my brother I think was there too, and all three of them just jumped to, they're like, no, you don't understand. This really is the guy. At which point I'm like, no, hang on guys. No, he's right. He's doing his job. Give me a minute, man. I'm tired. I'll get up for you. But that's the whole story. But I have to tell that story every year. Anyways, we got about 5 more minutes. That's time for one, maybe 2 more questions. Anybody got one more? I don't know. Yeah.
I don't think you explained it. Explain for everybody what a lumberjack is.
Oh, sure. Does it? Yeah, well, that's me. I'm a Woods. So who here? A lot of you don't know what lumberjack means. Okay, cool. You're the lumberjacks. You want to field this one?
You take this one.
Okay, so the lumberjack basically means someone who's attended every MAGFest since the beginning.
The Super
I have-
MAGFest, not counting MAGWest, MAGLabs, the camping, etc.
You're right. This main MAGFest, exactly. And technically, I have an asterisk because I missed the one right after COVID, out of the COVID concerns. So thank you for the lenience, Joe. Joe is really the master of this all.
Tell them how
The story. So yeah, I'm sorry, I was getting to that. So at MAG1, MAGFest was, the hotel was so happy to greet us and so all about MAGFest that when we got there, the sign said, "Welcome, Woodmen of the World," because they were also hosting around the same time a conference and a national conference of the wood cutting industry.
No. Woodmen of the World is a term life insurance company.
Oh, it was life insurance?
Yeah,
It was life insurance?
Woodmen of the World.
Oh,
it's a
what
life
the-
insurance company. They have an office in Roanoke. It's close to my home. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Joe, we're now the adjusters.
We're now yeah.
We regulate.
We can make that happen. When you do your panel next year and you walk up, we could just hit the play button as you're walking up to your panel. We can do that. But I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the story. We saw Woodmen of the World, and we're like, oh, okay, we're lumberjacks at MAG1.
Yeah, I think it was
If
at
you
year 2
remember
you
the,
couldn't remember. They couldn't remember that it said Woodmen or Lumberjacks. And
that's
Joe?
true,
Was it your
yeah,
idea? Who
yeah.
said we're all lumberjacks? Do you remember?
That was years. I think it was close to 10.
Really?
We've been going so
I thought that was year 2.
people have been at all of them. What do we call ourselves? We did the 10th anniversary panel here for the first year of the Gaylord, and we needed a panel name. So we're like, "Welcome Lumberjacks," like the sign at the first one.
Yeah.
And Rez then found the picture that said
Woodmen of the World.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We could have been a Mega Man boss. Dang it.
you guys all need leaf shields next year. So Woodman comes from, and I think Joe told me, if you were at year 1 and you've been to a bunch of them since, you're a Woodman. That's me. So I've actually, this is my 18th MAGFest. I've missed a couple over the years.
No, you guys covered it.
Right on. Have we got last question? Because we got 3 minutes. Yeah. If I got time, I'll try and get to both of them. But
presumably, but we aren't the ones.
That's
with the
after our
inside
time,
connection.
man. And I know they had a budget, and they're flying compose. They flew Machine Supremacy from Sweden. They flew Uematsu from Japan. They had Vince DiCola was probably my single favorite guest ever because he let me hang out with him. That was cool. But I don't
You
know
and the
how
touch.
yeah. Oh, that was so cool. I watched that movie when I was 8 years old, and I watch it every year for my birthday. That was cool.
All right.
But
Back
yeah,
there.
yeah. The current logo, you mean with the cord connected to the Atari joystick thing? I think that was Paul, wasn't it?
I think, I mean, it was, they were certainly helping at that point. I think it was still Brendan as the con-chair
Yeah.
then, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they had someone, but that was year 10. The original logo on my shirt here was a buddy of mine in Connecticut. He's in Minnesota now, Rafael Parada. But as far as the current logo, that was past my time.
Yeah.
It's after
It
my-
would
We
be-
think it was Paul Good, but we're not 100%.
Yeah,
on
I think
that.
it was because Paul, the first time I met Paul, that was year 10. No, I had met him at year 4 actually, but I didn't really know who he was until year 10. But he was just showing off that logo to me. He was so proud of it. So you'd probably have to ask him that question if you could track him down.
Yeah. It would be great to get Brendan back here too, because he could directly answer a lot of that. Yeah. So,
Or you know what? You could go up to the Bloop Museum, and there I did it, free plug. You can go up to the Bloop Museum in Baltimore and ask.
Is it
oh, it's
Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh now. Yeah.
It's moved. It's Pittsburgh.
Yeah. The Bloop Museum is now in Pittsburgh. Yeah, it used to
I
be
had no
north
idea.
of Baltimore.
There
but-
still is a museum that I think System Source is the name of the company has, which is where the Bloop Museum is co-located.
Yeah.
But Brendan's in the process of moving it to Pittsburgh, and I don't
Yeah,
think
and-
it's fully open yet, but it's been coming along pretty well.
Yeah, the Bloop Museum. Yeah. The Bloop Museum is basically him kind of taking all the old gaming systems, old game audio systems and whatnot, and putting it in a museum. And it's pretty cool. I'd recommend it if you ever get a chance to go by Pittsburgh.
All right.
Okay.
All right, we are all out of time real quick, so let me just. Oh, thank you. If you want one of these and you didn't get one in previous years, grab me outside. I'll plop myself on a table, and I've got. If you want to hang out and if you want to say hi anyway, but I don't have a lot of these, so if you've already got one, honor system, to not grab another one because I don't know when I'm going to get more of these from Walter or not. But yeah, if you want one of my the Twin Galaxies Hall of Fame card that Walter made for me, grab me outside. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you.